the leadership of Rwanda and thank our president in particular for the privileges that Rwandan women are enjoying in so many areas. And this New Faces, New Voices is one of the many showcases of what empowered women in Rwanda are determined to achieve together, to continue bringing in their own contribution to their own financial inclusion and economic empowerment. I also wish to thank our First Lady and the patron of New Faces, New Voices Rwanda chapter. You have accepted to be our patron, but on a condition, that as long as we keep focused, we deliver tangible results, and we are accountable to the many women in low-income families by pulling out of poverty 100 million Rwandans in 1,000 days. So this challenge, we have accepted to take it. I said 100 million. Rwandans are 10 million, by the way. It's 1 million. 1 million Rwandans out of poverty. And that was the contract. So we believe that we are strong enough and that we have strong partners to keep up this contract, and we are going to be monitoring it year by year so that we know how on track we are keeping. I want also to thank the founder. You have outlined this strong vision for Africa and for African women, and we have heard your call. We are here to take that challenge as well and be proud member of the New Faces, New Voices network in Africa. New Faces, New Voices was launched in 2010, and our chapter in Rwanda was born in 2012. So it took us 2 years to do a few things, but important things. We galvanized all the strengths and partnerships we needed for this to succeed. Secondly, we scanned the environment to enlighten our positioning in this financial landscape of Rwanda. Thirdly, we chart a vision and strategy of what to achieve and how we are going to achieve it. And fourthly, we streamlined the structures, including the legal and governance matters, so that we pose solid foundations to New Faces, New Voices Rwanda. You know, in Rwanda, we believe in accountability and in performance management, so we couldn't do otherwise. From the landscape, we understand the challenge that we have to face in terms of financial inclusion of women, in terms of transforming the financial sector and the financial sector players to address the issues women are still facing in finance. We found that, and these are the latest statistics of 2010, and the new statistics are coming anytime from now, because studies are ongoing. We found that 36% of Rwandan women in 2012 were still, only 36, formally financially included. And this is against 42% average. And we also realized that most of them stop at the holding an account in banks. In terms of saving accounts, as compared to adult population in that group, women have 20% in commercial banks and 3% for microfinance and 19% in umurenge circles, that are the savings and cooperatives and credit cooperatives that are at the grassroots. But these percentages drop as we go down to the real services. As an example, when you measure loans and compared to the adult population of women, the percentage of the loans that go to women fall to 2% for commercial banks, to 2% for microfinance institutions, and to 3% for the circles. And this, we have to take this challenge. So I was just giving an example of how, but it's not to say that women are not financially included. They are, because the total exclusion in Rwanda was 28% in 2012. So this means that the gap is in the informal financial sector. We know we have so many women in village saving groups. They are already educated, they know, they understand the money business, but they are still informal, and our job is to handhold them and to help everyone grow, formalize, and invest and save and uptake various services in the financial sector. We also know that women in Rwanda tend to be more employed in agriculture, and this is at 82% compared to 63% for men. And we know that women have transitioned from formal to informal wage employment, from informal to formal wage employment. Women transitioned on a low pace compared to men. In 2011-12, formal wage employment of men was at 49%, when the one for women was at 25%. So we understand all these challenges. I know a lot has been done in the last 5 years because Rwanda is really on a fast move, but still the percentages keep those gaps between men and women. Another finding which was important was information gaps. Everywhere, women to financial institutions to women, financial service providers to women, and vice versa, information gaps are a huge challenge. But there was a striking finding, which is that actually, even women are financially included. It was surprising that women in employment, in jobs, like a civil service, like teachers, like nurses, they tend to be less financially literate than the rural woman. So that was a fact. And we are, as New Faces, New Voices, to take on this challenge and see what to do about it. So our proposal is New Faces, New Voices, Rwanda chapter to be a broad-based membership-based organization. We are targeting women in low-income categories, women in cooperatives, women owners of micro-enterprises, young emerging women entrepreneurs, junior to mid-level professionals, and senior professionals and achieved business women to be the members of New Faces, New Voices Rwanda chapter. We are talking of huge numbers like 300,000 members of New Faces, New Voices. We are going to go out there, do the road shows, come to the women, organize them in groups so that we get together to reach our vision, which is to co-create our full financial inclusion and economic empowerment in Rwanda. But we also want to target other members, corporate companies. We want to target them to attract them to the membership, and other groups that can have the same vision of empowering women financially. We have 4 key goals we want to achieve. One goal is increase substantially access to finance. Another goal is to increase capabilities in business and financial skills. A third goal is to increase the influence, voice, and representation of women in financial institutions. Actually, we want to exceed the 30% that is the standard, and the target for financial inclusion is 35%. We want also to work towards a self-sufficient operation, which means we are going to generate income to sustain our activities. And the business lines we want to achieve are also 4. One is we want to network and carry our strong advocacy role, do the mentorship programs, handhold each other from all those levels I mentioned where women are found in different value chains. And secondly, we want to address the issue of information services and bridge the gaps and serve all the stakeholders to understand each other. Thirdly, we have a huge business line which is programming, and this is interesting. We are offering to partner with whoever is doing something for women on this land. And you want to monitor it, you want to coordinate it, we want to ensure that we partner so that women get real value and that value is counted for. And fourthly, we want to invest as women together in groups. But most importantly, we want to have a women investment fund worth $16 million to $20 million. We pledge to come up with 25% of it as members. Actually, we are saying the lowest women, low-income group, at least you must have 7 shares of 1,000 Rwandan francs each. This is equivalent to $10. That's easy to mobilize. Actually, women already have that, but we don't know where it is because it's in the informal. So we want to bring that to the formal, and if they can save against this target, in a year they can achieve that, and actually even exceed that. So we have a strategy of raising 4 million among the members. Then, once you have done so, we'll come to government, say, government, you've done some good things, you can't really, this is not something big we are asking, just match this $4 million. We hope that they will, because the Minister of Finance is interested in this 1 million target of poverty reduction. And once that is done, we want to go out there. ADB has a huge fund for women, but they want big tickets, not small. IFC, you out there. We know that there are so many which we are going to be interested to come, not just to give us grants, by the way. Even government, we are saying, come and invest in this fund, because it's supposed to be self-sustaining. We are going to find a fund manager, manage it professionally. We are going to give it corporate governance standards. We are going to give it investment policies that are, of course, giving privilege to the women, majority of investments, projects of women, but also investments of many business. But what we are up as long as you create jobs for the women, you could be eligible to such a fund. So that's what we are bringing on the table as New Faces, New Voices, Rwanda. So for that, we figured out that we needed to be meaning business, like Joy said last night, and actually even be a business. So we registered as a public company, limited by guarantee and shares. And we are going to attract as many shareholders. You can take a stake as a guarantor or as a shareholder, whichever suits you. Of course, of course, but we want that broad base of women so that we have that, we claim that name of really being an umbrella organization of women in finance. So we have so far founding members, which I would like to recognize. There are 18 of them. Please, if you are here, I will request for them to stand up for recognition. Founding members of New Faces, New Voices who are in this room. Some are here, some could not make it because they have other engagements, but we are 18 of us, and we've been really doing all this work together, but we intend as soon as we get out of here to go out and raise that wide membership we pledged to have. We are also going to have an advisory council, which will bring on board some of the partners to help us really serve women better. And we have a secretariat that we want to establish. We wish to thank BRD. This is the bank, the Development Bank of Rwanda. They have offered to host our office for at least 1 year. And we thank them very much for that. As I draw to an end, I wish to conclude by thanking our sponsors and partners, our consortium partners, IFC and UN Women. I want to thank them very much. Our partners, RDB, Rwanda Development Board, and National Bank of Rwanda. I want to thank them very much. I want to thank our sponsors, Development Bank of Rwanda, BRD, and Equity Bank, and our many sponsors that have made this conference happen. I wish to thank you all for your contribution, and I want to commit that our patron and our founder, we are going to make you proud, and we need your guidance and wisdom as we continue building the New Faces, New Voices network. Thank you so much.